Welcome to Subramani. Please subscribe, please hit the bell icon. Today I'm going to talk to you about something called concentration risk. What happens is when I meet many people, it's good if I meet them when they're in their 20s or 30s, but sometimes I meet them when they're in their 50s. So they have a portfolio which is very big, but out of which 70, 75, 80% is one single stock. So a person comes and says, I have 20 crores, out of which 17 crores, which is 85%, is my single company. I'm not naming it, but it could be HDFC Limited, HDFC Bank, Infosys, TCS, could be anything. Not so much of TCS because TCS is not such an old company, but yes, many of these old companies where people have got ESOP and they have just not sold. So that normally becomes the concentration risk. It also happens that some people have bought some great share at a nice price, and or it has been handed over to them by their parent, and then they have been told that never sell this share. Okay, this is Pfizer, don't sell it. This is Colgate, don't sell it, whatever. So that also becomes huge because they have never invested in anything else. So they have an equity portfolio of 4 or 5 shares, out of which one share, which could be a Colgate, which could be a HUL or anything, could be a big portion, right? So they've got a portfolio of 8 crores, out of which 7 crore 50 lakhs or something is one single share, and then there are some duds which never performed. So they've not done anything to their portfolio. So again, there is a concentration risk. Now these are people who will not even think of listening to your advice of saying sell off the share. They'll not do it. So now take a case of a person with a huge amount of money in his own company stock or share and running a concentration risk. So the one thing I can say is by all theories, if this person sells off some of his shares and puts it into a, let's say, a multi-asset fund, chances are he'll get a better risk adjusted return. But the problem is, I'm not here to give advice. I'm here to say what kind of solutions I have seen people do and what works and what doesn't work. So one solution which I had suggested long back, maybe 15, 17 years back, is to sell an X amount of share every week, right? So every week he used to sell some shares and put it into a mutual fund. He's got fantastic returns, not as though his company didn't do well. Company did well, but his risk adjusted return, reducing the concentration helped. But he was also the CEO of a company which he had created, and he had sold to somebody, and he was still running it. He was the CEO, he was on the board, CEO come managing director, he was on the board, and he was running this concentration risk. Of course, except during the cool-off period where I had told him not to sell the shares, because obviously he couldn't sell the shares, that was automatically locked in. We had told the bank that these should be automatically locked in this period. So in that period, you would not deal in those shares. But he had kept one account just for those company shares. So he knew that he had to lock in on this date and get out, remove the lock on a particular date. So that's a different process altogether. So he would sell shares on the 7th, on the 14th and on the 21st of the month and put it into 3 mutual funds. So that's where he reduced concentration, but still his concentration was huge. So that is one solution which is a very sensible solution. Suppose you have got a lot of shares and you have to sell 3,000 shares in a month. So which means on each day you sell 1,000 shares. This is like a systematic withdrawal plan, and 36,000 shares will get sold in a year. Right, so now if you've also got another 50,000 shares as ESOP, so then obviously this 36,000 helps, because you're adding only 14,000 to your core, to your portfolio. So this is one thing to do. The second thing to do, which works better, is to say, write down all the things which are very important for you. So let us say is a typical person who says, I want to buy one house. I also want to buy a house for my parents near my house. So 2 houses. I want to buy one house for each child. Just think about it. Do you really want to buy that? Answer is no. Okay, backtrack. I want to pay for my children's education, whichever part of the world it is, and they should get that education debt free. I should be debt free and my children should be debt free. Very good. Two more goals. So 2 houses, two children being educated, some luxury car, luxury product, luxury camera, anything which is luxurious, which you think you will not do out of your current income. It is easy if it comes like free money, right? So these shares look free. I'm not even getting into it. I can do a full episode on whether it is really free. So write down all those things which are important to you. 2 children to be educated abroad, maybe 3 crores each. That's what it is going to cost. Or 4 crores each is what it is going to cost. Fine, write it down. 1 house, 2 houses, children's education, luxury travel, luxury item purchase, right? So my take is, for all this, sell the shares which you have got from your company. Let's say your company, you're working in SN company, and SN company has given you a lot of shares. Use those shares to pay for all this. So this, what it does is, it tells you that this is the concentration risk which you're trying to reduce, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is to say, all those things which I could not have afforded on my regular portfolio, I'm doing with this, right? So my house is there. I bought a house and house is debt free. I did not have to borrow from HDFC Bank or ICICI Bank to buy the house. I just sold my shares, bought the house. I sold my shares, bought another house near my house. I bought a house for my parents, so they are living there, and so that's done. I paid for my children's education. Now, if your daughter is 17 years of age or 18 years of age, and you think you are going to require the money at the age of 21, which is 3 years from now, best is to start selling X amount of shares every month. So let us say you need 10,000 shares to be sold. Now 10,000 shares divided by 36 is about 3,000. So about 3,000 shares is what you will sell every month. Put it into one particular fund, which could be an ultra short bond fund or something like that, and accumulate it there, so that exactly on the date when she requires the money, she is 21, she wants to go abroad, she is 22, she wants to go abroad, you do this. But sometimes if the share price falls, it's fine, sell something else, but make sure that after some time you sell your share and make good that. Or you could even borrow for some reason if you don't feel like selling, but this is one very good way of reducing the concentration in your portfolio. Another thing which I have seen people do, or I have got people to do, is to say, is it possible for me to live a nice life with all the assets other than the assets which is my concentrated asset, right? So suppose my net worth is 15 crores, out of which 6 crores is what I have created myself, and 9 crores is the ESOP created one. So can I live well in 6 crores? If the answer is yes, I can use the 9 crores as a wealth creation tool. What I am trying to say is, some shares you don't feel like selling. I mean, you take Amazon. Amazon did this, right? So it dipped 94%. Can you imagine holding on to a share after it has dipped 94%? You might panic, you might sell, or the minute it recovers from a 94% fall or a 96% fall to 70% fall, you will feel like selling. So holding on during tough times is a skill for which you have been rewarded by this ESOP becoming so big. It is true for everybody. It's true for Amazon, it is true for Nvidia, it is true for many Indian, Zomato, it's true for Paytm, right? Every share has dramatically fallen 70%, 40%, 50%. Could you have held on to the share during that period and then got the benefits of the value of the stock? So sitting tight during difficult periods is not easy, but that's a great time to be not selling. So don't sell it at that time. When the market is doing well and your shares are doing extremely well, sell some shares and buy the house. If your daughter's education is 4 years away and you think market is booming and doing very well, sell 50% of the money that you require right now and put it into ultra short bond fund, and then continue selling every month. But the minute you think, oh, the markets have turned and it is now not a good time to sell, stop selling, right? Then you can take money from somewhere else and pay for the education. Same thing for a housing loan, buying a car. So buying a car, you don't have a date by which you have to buy, right? So you keep looking at the market, and once when the market is high and you need 30 lakhs to buy the car, just jump 30 lakhs worth of shares out of your ESOP shares and then use that to buy your car. So some of these things you can do. These are all steps at reducing the concentration risk in your portfolio. So how much concentration should be allowed? For a normal lay investor, it should be 5% in one company, maybe 10% in one or 15% in one mutual fund scheme, but not much beyond that. So this is very difficult for people who have got a big amount of ESOP and they are very attached to the company. You can't even tell them that they should sell, but telling them to sell to buy experiences is much easier than to say sell it and put it in a diversified equity fund. It doesn't work that way. Thank you.